Lummy, you gonna ask some questions this time? Or you gonna serve it like a bump it along?
No, I got some good questions.
You got. Last time, did you get some good questions in?
Yeah.
Okay. And I think Tony likes us, and maybe working. I think Tony might want to come on from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, he did a year working for the NFL in Canada Sports Network. He did a year.
Don't start bringing up statistics on Tony Mandrich, my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're trying to get him to come on my show. Doesn't matter if he did a year anywhere.
No, that's what I meant. He's good.
And why do we even invite Anna in on these deals? This is a complete sports show.
I love sports.
You do not.
Yes,
You hate it.
God.
Oh, where did Tony Mandrich play college ball?
In Louisiana.
Exactly.
Sorry, what was that?
You should just go get in Gus and go home.
No. I've been away for too long. I'm sorry. I got caught up cleaning the fridge because it's a fucking disaster.
Okay, well, why don't you go back and start cleaning it?
Well, I'm finished for now.
Oh.
Yes. Trying to organize it.
You don't know anything about our guest.
He's a cool guy. He's got a great sense of humor.
He's
he
big.
Said God bless.
He likes to work out.
Likes to work out.
We'll talk about fitness. I'm big on fitness. I'm big on sport, just not sports.
All right.
So,
Whatever.
Okay.
You're okay. I just want to let you know. And it will be very broad. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Did you miss me?
No, yeah. Aspects of you. I missed the show.
Okay.
And you're part of the show.
That's fair. Because I missed you.
And
I was itching to get back.
And I find myself sticking up for you a lot.
Do you have to defend me often?
No. But I do. I
me?
do. Probably. You know what? You probably have to, in some of your circles, have to defend me too.
No doubt.
So
we are a family. We defend
sometimes
each other.
people start talking. I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
Some people will start talking a little bit of shit about you, and I'm like,
Back
stop,
it down.
Stop it the fuck right now.
Yeah.
Because stop.
Right.
I don't want to fucking hear it. And in fact, you're going to piss me off because I like her. She's a great co-host. She understands the dynamics of the show.
Right.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So shut the fuck up.
Right.
That's what I tell them.
Thank you.
I think we're trying to get Tony Mandrich on. I wonder what he thinks. We didn't even get into the cocaine in the White House.
Nope. The Bubba Light 1999.
Bubba Light. I think Bubba Light's coming down. I think for the Lummy birthday party.
Oh,
no
nice.
way.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
That's next
Hello.
Friday.
I'm getting ready for Tony Mandrich, but I'll take your phone call. Hello.
Hey, Bubba. Sorry, this is Jason. So I've been a loyal listener since 2001.
Right.
I recently had some friends over at my house. My buddy's name is Ray. I guess you know him as Voluntold, and his wife.
Oh yes, Candace. Yes, Candace works with me at my racetrack. She's very, very, very instrumental on the operation of my track.
Yes, sir. So I had no clue who she was, and they came over to my house, and we just started. I was telling them about this radio show I listened to, and she's like, "Oh yeah, who?" I was like, "Bubba." She goes, she was telling me that she knows you, and I was like, "Bullshit."
No. She hold on. She's got
Apple Watch.
She's got a royalty ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got a Bubba Army royalty ring. Yeah, Candace and I are very close. She has been working with me and my track probably for maybe 3, 4, 5 years now. We speak probably a couple times a week.
Yes, sir. She was telling me how you were able to get her over from East Bay and how much of a badass that she was, and she is truly a badass bitch. And I wanted just to call you and let you know that we have a mutual friend, and I'm going to try and make it out with Ray and Candace out to your track, hopefully, for the Wiener Dog Nationals.
Man, Ray's got a badass truck, doesn't he?
Silver Ghosted actually was at my house the 4th.
That is a nice truck, man. What a nice truck.
That's a bad bitch. But I just wanted to call. I'm not going to take up too much time, but I love you guys. Great show. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
It'll be on the internet. There you go. It's my internet pot. It'll be on the internet. There you go. It's my internet.
Oh,
I gotta turn that
God.
down. Hold on,
It'll
you
be on the
internet. There you go. It's my internet.
Oh,
I gotta turn
God.
that down. Hold on, you internet. There
You already
you go.
lived this moment.
Lummy, are we now? Do we do invite here, Mach? Anything? We're waiting for Tony Mandridge to pop up. 1 minute late, Mandridge. Give me a lap, bitch.
Yeah.
1 minute late, Mandridge. Give me fucking 10 push-ups.
Oh,
You big ogre.
oh no.
2 minutes late, Mandridge. And they're fucking injecting Deca
Like it's
Fuck.
a punishment.
with some clenbuterol. That was a Winstrel chaser. Lummy, have you been in contact with the lovely Tony Mandridge?
Yes, I have.
Does he know? Could it be our end? We've been known to have some motherfucking internet issues.
I just sent him a message. I talked to him yesterday.
Ready
and I said, "Are we
ready
all
to
good
go.
to go. 6
Mandridge, give me a lap, bitch.
10:40 Eastern time. He said.
I had a lot of
"Yes,
questions
sir."
for Tony Mandridge. Number 77 for the Green Bay Packers, and then 79 for the Indianapolis Colts. Was
1989 NFL drafts. Yeah, no stuff.
it was actually Peyton Manning's blind side. Left. No, I think he might have played guard
He played guard and tackle
Yeah.
for the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was referred to as the best defensive line prospect ever.
Yes,
Not
the best
defensive line, offensive line.
That's
You
what I
fucking
said.
idiot. No, you said defensive line.
God damn it, my eyes.
Fucking idiot. Mandridge, what the fuck? You're missing a team meeting. Jesus. Put down the barbells and pick up the phone. Mandridge, Tony, big fucker, 6'5". What is he now? I need to ask him. Oh, there he is. Is that him?
That's probably a rip
Did you
250.
say that was the wind?
What do you think? what was he billed at? He was billed at 6'6", 330. What are you, Lummy? Like, honest to God, like if NFL Combine where they really get the measuring stick out and get you, like, you may tell people you're 6'6", but really you're 6'4" 3/4.
6'5.5".
Like right now, this like fucking very minute.
5'3", 114.
6'5".
6'5.5". Yeah. 294.
Lummy,
293.
let's just say 300.
Okay.
6'5", 300.
Okay.
So you're probably, like, if I look at you, it's kind of like looking at Tony Mandridge.
Yeah.
Because he was
Identical.
billed at 6'6", 330, when he probably is more like 6'5". Right now, he's probably 275. He looks like he's in shape.
He is. He says he still likes to work out.
Well,
Yeah, he's
I
jacked.
like doing interviews, and he is one of my
He said he's
new.
running 5 minutes behind. He's very sorry.
You photo take a motherfucker.
He's probably finishing up that Arnold documentary.
Did I tell him to watch it?
I finished it this weekend.
his favorite movie growing up was Pumping Iron.
Oh, was it?
That's what got him into working out.
As per your suggestion, I watched the whole thing this weekend.
Arnold?
Yes.
Honest to God.
I wish
did
they would have dipped more into the love child deal, because obviously that interests me, but they kind of just glossed right over that.
They did, but he owned it.
I know, but I wanted really them to get into the minutia.
No, you wanted him to you wanted to have secret footage of him having her bent over the fucking kitchen counter, blasting the shit out of her.
You know
and
me. Yeah.
But didn't you find him cool as fuck? Like,
oh, no doubt.
Just like,
Certainly inspirational, the fact that he can just essentially, I don't want to say start from scratch, but kind of.
you know what the
and
most
just
important
become the best at whatever he was doing.
And you know what one of my most favorite parts was when they showed that he had turned bodybuilding into he was a multimillionaire. While he was bodybuilding, owning commercial, like he was smart enough to take he was smart enough to take the money that he had made in bodybuilding and from endorsing Joe Weider and all that kind of stuff and not blow it.
Nope.
And instead, which was so cool. When it was so cool when he was walking into that commercial real estate building and he had his office all, like that was.
And he's like, I hadn't even made a single movie at that point.
Yeah.
He was a millionaire in California, not making any movies yet.
Yeah.
He didn't, because he didn't live like a rock star. He didn't blow it on drugs and alcohol and bitches.
Whores and
Fucking whores.
drugs and whores and houses will bring you down.
Yeah, well,
like everybody has to get like this, ultra fucking huge. Since I lost it all and live very modestly, I live as minimal as I can, including trying to get rid of shit here. But like, I didn't need a 6,400 square foot house on the water. I didn't.
No, you did not. Did you know
I liked it.
his net worth?
Who?
Did we talk about it yet?
Who?
Arnold's.
No, what is it?
You want to guess? Or?
Yeah, I'd say probably 600 million.
400 million?
It's 450.
Wow.
That's what it says.
Still, once you're up there, like what the fuck?
Oh no,
Once
it's
you're
nothing
over
to sneeze
100
at.
million, it's nothing.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Quit taking pictures, you motherfucker, and get on the phone. Tony Mandrach.
Let's go.
Could have had Barry Sanders, and we got you.
Well,
And you called Green Bay a village. I'm going to ask him about the first piece of Green Bay groupie ass he got.
Oh, you got to.
I got to.
Yep.
I'm going to say, Tony, I already apologize in advance. Don't get mad. I'm going to ask some questions. Some little couple hard hitters here. Don't get mad
How
at
do
me.
you say his real first name?
Tony.
No.
Oh.
He's Croatian.
Ante? Is it
Yes,
Ante Joseph
yes.
Tony?
Well, it's Josip.
Ante.
Josip.
Ante Josip.
Yes.
An-
Tony.
That comes from what's his heritage?
Croatian.
He's Croatian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of wondering what Nick Saban was like back then when he was recruiting.
We're going to
him.
ask him.
Yeah.
Ask him, what was Nick Saban like back then?
Yeah, Michigan State University, right?
And can you imagine if you had NILs back then?
Oof.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Fuck. I mean, he was the best marketer. He gamed the hype combine system better than any other player, and probably next to Dion. And his combine statistics are unheard of for an offensive lineman. 4.6 40? I think it was a 4.6 40 at 6'6", 335 at 39 bench presses.
Yes.
And I got to ask him, how did he specifically train for the combine? Because he gamed the combine, brought it, hyped. Like, did somebody plan all this out for him, or did he just figure it out as the cool ass Canadian that he is? You know what I'm saying? Because
that is a good question.
Because it was the hype.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of started putting the combine more on the map.
Yeah. Motherfuck Tony Mandrich. Ante Josip.
Josip. Yeah.
Ante Josip Tony Mandrich.
He's running on Canadian time.
You are. Canadians are always behind. Eh? What are you out sled dogging? Bag of milking? What are you doing?
Itarod or whatever. Is that the
What do you think about Jack Trudeau?
Shit they
I think
do.
he's a piece of shit. Did you see where Canada was not going to allow Google anymore? And
What?
I think I saw.
Or was it France?
No.
Oh,
It was Canada,
oh, okay.
and they were going to outlaw Google. Somebody fucking look into that, because I thought I read, and everybody's mad as fucking Jack Trudeau because I think Google employs like 3,000 or 4,000 Canadians, and they were going to have to shut down the Canadian version of Google. What's the update on Tony? Is he on his last set of inclines?
He said he's getting on. He's setting it up.
Jesus, Mandrich.
It's all right. I'll talk sports with you until he gets here.
Is that him right there?
Oh.
Jesus, Mandrich, quit taking pictures of fucking butterflies and worry that you got a big time radio show that loves you, trying to promote all your shit, and you're not being very responsible.
It says something about the Trudeau government halts advertising on Facebook and Instagram. It's some law. Online News Act becomes law.
Oh, dang. I went into a black hole for the last 5 days.
Online news app. What did they say?
It's the Online News Act, Bill C-18. I'm trying to see what it.
They're
what it
saying that
actually is.
this show is already better than the main. I thought today's main show
Thought it
was
pretty damn good.
very good in the fact that it's it's a lot of laws that could affect a lot of people that listen to the. Hell, half of people, just statistically, 60% of all people end up in divorce, right? Statistically.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that. Like get married. That's why I'll never get divorced because I'll never get married.
Yeah, you should never get married.
And then it's never an L.
Right.
Right.
It's never an L, and it's never really it's never really like
it's not that it's not a commitment, but you know,
I did. I started to say commitment,
and I don't believe in God.
I started to say commitment, then I stopped.
Right.
and so it's not never a commitment, but it's never something you can't unwind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you can always unwind a divorce, but it just gets so fucking messy. It's dirty.
Tell Mandridge, man, I'm gonna whip his ass. I'm gonna do a fucking Reggie White fucking hump move on him.
There you go. Smash him to the ground. Pancake him.
Pancake.
Track him down.
I'm a fucking pancake Tony Mandridge.
Did you say, wait. Did you say you were going to whip my ass again?
Walk it back.
I said I was going to give you a Reggie White fucking hump move, bitch. That's what I said.
God bless you.
My Lord, what Jesus, Mandridge, on time, not motherfucker. What's going on? Oh yeah, try to fucking butter me up with my fucking logo. I wish I had a. Do you have Tony Mandridge's photography shirts or anything?
I'm not that infamous like you.
Fuck you. You're way more infamous than me. You know you are.
Is a good thing.
How many photo shoots did you have this weekend?
Not enough.
Really, not enough. Do you have any employees, or you just do this all yourself? With Tony Mandridge Media.
It depends on what time of year. I mean, with the Tony Mandridge Media, we used to have probably about 10, 12 employees.
That many?
But that included web design, web, SEO, social media. Before it got huge, social media marketing, paid search, all that stuff.
Shoulder's looking a little small right now, buddy. You better fucking be doing some fucking skull crunches or some shit. Fuck. How much? If Tony Mandridge got on the scale right now, what, 275?
Oh, you nailed it. You nailed it.
For real.
Whoa.
For swear.
Six, are you down to 6'5" now because you're getting a little bit older?
Exactly.
6'5", a little bit. Could you still put some pads on and whip like a 12th grader's ass, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
12th grader. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I mean, listen, I went back to my high school, and these motherfuckers are monsters now, and they would be killing me. They'd be killing me.
Well, I could do it for one play. I didn't say I could keep doing it.
Oh, it's just your size alone, you can keep a guy off you, right?
I think it's that competitive spirit. It's just that willingness to get nasty on the field would keep me going. The only problem would be my hamstring would be at the 10-yard line, and my hips would be at the 20-yard line, and I'd be like torn apart.
After every series, they'd have to have a massage therapist over there just fucking,
After every series, after every play.
What was it like to play for Peyton his rookie year? Because I think you were his guard that year, weren't you?
I was tackle for 1 year and guard for my last year, which was his third year, or his second year. It was great. He was awesome. The interesting thing was, for such a young player at the time, he took command, as he should. He took command of the huddle. He also took command when he walked in the locker room as a rookie, as a draft. When he got drafted, it was like he was all business. He was a pro, but he was, again, you've seen the commercials, you've seen the humor that he has.
Oh, he's so smart, and he's he's such a great guy. Like, there's nothing to like about him, and he's got such a deadpan, dry, self-deprecating. I mean, I don't know if you don't like Peyton Manning, then it's your fault, not his, because he's just so likable, and he's and he's been brilliant in marketing too, as well. Agreed. Did you ever let one by and he'd be like, fuck 79, what the fuck I just got my ass smashed, what the fuck, buddy?
He didn't quite say 79.
He would say, would he call you by your real name? Would he call you Joseph?
Oh yeah. No. He dropped the F-bomb and say, Tony,
you stupid fuck.
Right.
Jesus. Did you know this guy had a fucking edge move second to none, you motherfucker?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And there'd be times I'd have to tell him to just fucking chill.
For real?
Yeah. I'm like, I mean, look, we all put our pants on the same way. I'm like, I don't care how much money you make, just chill.
Now,
It's all right. I missed it. It's my guy. I missed it.
I missed
okay?
him. Okay, it's tough.
But I got him 67 times.
Right. I mean,
know?
you're 35 of 60 for 382 yards. Fuck off, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, he wasn't throwing 100% completion.
Yeah, you got. And if you, and in doubt, just hand it off to Marshall Falk. You stupid fucker. He'll run a mile.
Yeah. And Marshall went to St. Louis shortly after, but Peyton, his rookie year, I think, set the record for most interceptions thrown by a starting rookie quarterback.
Well, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
You know, one of my all-time favorites, Brett Favre, of course. You know, and we've had Brett on the show. Of course, I didn't bring this up, but Brett was a gunslinging motherfucker. I loved him. But Brett also leads the league in interceptions too.
Yeah, well, that's because he put the ball up in the air. That's why.
Right.
And same thing with Peyton. He also, saying that he threw the most interceptions, he also threw the most attempts.
Right.
Rookie.
Right.
So there's a reason behind it. A lot of people don't like to look at those reasons.
How cool was it when they throw a pick and then you get it turned in? Like, I know all you offensive linemen always wanted, you didn't want to tackle that guy?
No. Well, you want to tackle the guy, but it's not cool because your head's on a swivel.
Right.
Because those defensive people are looking at ear hole, like they're like a missile going for your ear.
Because now you're open season, right? I mean, you've been laying the fucking wick to them all game, and now they're gonna okay, 79, you motherfucker, I'm gonna blindside Willie you. And back then, the rules were far less. Like now, they're a lot more strict. Back then, remember when Sapp took out
Clifton?
Clifton.
Chad Clifton.
Oh, that was a dirty fucking move too.
Yeah, well, that's football.
We were. I know it is, but we were based out. We're based out of Tampa, and I'm a Packer fan, and I got on Sapp so hard he was going to fight me. He was going to beat the shit out of me. Because I was like, you're a no good, cheap shot. Because did you remember that shot? Don't you?
I do. I vaguely remember it.
Favre threw an interception, and Clifton was kind of headed that way towards the direction.
Yeah.
And Sapp laid him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Clifton had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he was in there for a couple of days.
Here's the thing, and this is not saying that was right, but here's the thing: always keep your head on a swivel on the field. And if you're going to make my old coach, I talked about this the other day with a good friend of mine. If you're going to make a mistake on the field, make it at full speed.
Right.
Do not be hesitating or relaxing on the field, unless you're,
Now, what's in all your career, maybe even back to college? Did anybody ever get one of those on you? Did anybody ever get a fucking head ringer on you?
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Was it college?
It actually, the worst one was college. Yeah.
For who did it, motherfucker? Who did it?
It was against Arizona State, believe it or not.
Bunch of ass buckets.
Well,
compared to you, compared to you guys, Michigan State, you guys were all world, and Arizona State, I don't know that's ever really had a program, have they?
Yeah, they went to the Rose Bowl a couple years after.
What, in 1936?
I think 8mm film just came out.
Yeah, I think so.
Wait, that dates me.
I think fucking it was silent movie era, maybe, right. When they went out there.
Right.
So how bad? So what dude from Arizona State got you?
It was, it wasn't. I don't think it was done on purpose, but I did a cut block, landed on the ground, cut my guy, and as I was getting back up, as the play was going the other way, a guy behind me was running full speed and went to jump me. And his knee hit the back of my head, and then my head went into Wednesday.
And back then there was no, Tony Mandridge couldn't come out and say, I need to get checked for concussion protocol. They're like, shut the fuck, get your ass back, right? There was no concussion protocol, none.
No, the only protocol was who's the president.
Right. What's your mom's name?
Do you know where you are?
Right.
And what team are you playing?
Right. That's it.
If you could answer that, you were like a savant.
How many times did you ever, in high school, I got them maybe 3 or 4 times, but those stingers that you get, man. You played, in the highest level you played probably 1,000 more games than I ever played, and I played fucking high school Harry bullshit, right. But you would get like those stingers, and you couldn't take yourself out because usually by the time it was time to go back, it was kind of gone at least. But I don't know if they've ever analyzed what a true stinger is. Like, is it tied to a concussion or?
No, I think it's tied to like a nerve that gets like pinched or compressed really hard. But the funny thing is, the first time, if you don't really know about stingers, the first time you get one, you think you're gonna die. Yeah. You think you're gonna die.
You think that they're putting those fucking paddles of life on you, like to shock your heart back, and you don't know how long, and then it starts getting a little bit better, and then you're like, man, when that thing comes along next, and you don't dare in high school, come take yourself out of the play because I was always borderline. I was a starter, but if the dude that was second place. Behind me, the nose guard behind me, if he would get like a sack or a fumble, they'd be like, "Well, fuck it, we'll just keep that guy in there." So you never took yourself out. Speaking
Plus
of
our helmets were like construction helmets.
Remember,
like insides of them.
You and I are practically the same age, and so I was born in '66. You were born in '66. You graduated in '84. I think I graduated in '84.
Correct.
And so. Back in high school, the baddest ass helmets to have were the bike pump up helmets. So was that the same for you guys?
My senior year of high school in Ohio, it was like that.
Yeah,
my first 3 years in Canada, we literally wore suspension helmets. Like they were like made of canvas inside.
Well, and they just fit right on your head. Not even the Riddell little cushion deals.
No, not in Canada.
Well, Well, a lot of people.
It said CCM.
Said A. It said, "I'll knock your ass out, eh?"
It said Tim Hortons Donuts.
Tim Hortons. It said, "I'm too stupid to play hockey." I'm too fucking slow to play hockey, is what it said. Speaking of which, a lot of people don't know is that like in the year before when the Packers picked you second overall in '89. I forget what team it was. They in '88 they drafted you like in the 7th round.
British Columbia Lions.
Yeah, they actually drafted you.
Yeah. They thought they just had my rights as far as if I ever played in Canada, they would have my rights as far as a player.
The Packers did something like that way before you. It was with the dude. And he said he wasn't coming to Green Bay no matter what, and the dumbass Packers. Was it Bruce Clark or Bruce Smith?
Oh, wasn't that San Francisco with Ronaldo Nehemiah?
No, it was. No, Packers had it before you under Bart Starr or Forrest Gregg, one of those guys, and it was the guy he went on to play for Buffalo, but I think he went to play for Canada first, and his name was Bruce Clark, I think, Bruce Clark. I think. Let me look it up.
Oh, was it Tom Cousineau, maybe?
No, he was a number 1 overall draft pick.
Wow.
Big black guy, defensive lineman, fucking stud, all world, everything.
Not Bruce Smith.
I think it might have been. Let me look it up. Why
not Bruce Clark? Because Bruce Clark was drafted by the Packers and then went and played for the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, there you go. It was a guy named Bruce Clark, and he was drafted number 1. What overall?
I'm trying to find it right now. Number 4.
He was number 4 overall.
He went to Penn State.
And he went to fucking the CFL. That's how much he hated the village of Green Bay.
I didn't say it.
No, I did.
I know you did.
I mean, you just called it a village. He told them to fuck off. I'm out of here.
No, I told them that they needed a village idiot too. And I was there to show up for that.
Now listen. What was your relationship status when you went to Green Bay? Were you single?
No, I was. I had a girlfriend at the time, my college girlfriend.
Right, but those Green Bay groupies. I mean, there's not a lot. I mean, listen. If you go to L.A. or New York, you got the Knicks. You got 5 other professional franchises. You get, but when you're the Packers. Other than maybe the dude that's the best bowler in town, I mean, you're the main dude, and so I mean, you are. Were the women just throwing themselves on you?
I don't know if I've ever heard the phrase Green Bay groupies.
Yeah, well, the Green Bay groupies, I mean, they kick it out wide for any Packer. I mean, you could have been Don. I bet you Don Bracken was getting groupie ass.
Don Bracken was a good dude. The Green Bay groupies could drill one heck of an ice shanty fishing hole.
Oh yeah, they could fucking catch you a sturgeon, clean it by noon, and be
Right?
sucking your dick at 6 o'clock.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just telling you right now, man. And fucking have you a 6-pack of Miller Lite. I'm just telling you, right?
I'm not sure they drank Miller Lite.
Women from Green Bay, man, they're rugged, aren't they? I mean, it's a whole nother life. Well, it's not because you're from Canada.
Let me just say, they're great people.
Oh no,
They have great personalities.
Where did you live in Green Bay?
In a little, just north of Green Bay, in a little Polish town called Pulaski.
Right. Did you go rookie crazy where you went and got you a big ass house, or were you trying to be, conservative?
First year I had rented, and then second year I bought a house, and second, third, fourth year I lived in the same house, a log home in Pulaski.
But not over the top, like
Nothing crazy.
like
No,
what
no,
the players now do, go out and get a big, Now, who on the team had that Mac Daddy house? Favre?
Well, Favre came in my last year,
right?
So I couldn't say for him, but there really wasn't. I mean,
the Magic Man didn't have one.
The Magic Man,
he had a nice house, but I will say this: that there weren't very many like of these awesome mansions in Green Bay at the time. At least none that I knew of.
Right.
It's not like going to Chicago or L.A. or New York or some of these big cities. And you also have to remember, I mean, players now, the second pick of the draft's making $20, $30, $40 million.
I know you made 4. Can you believe that?
I made 4 over 4 years.
I know 1.1 a year. And so if you take that 1.1, I mean,
So
what are you making? 450,000 after agent taxes,
after taxes and everything. Yeah. But think about this. If Biden was in office then, the inflation rate, if we would have kept up our salaries with the inflation rate, this is what it would be. Players making $20, $30 million.
Yeah, but if Biden was in the office right now, it would have been okay to have all them steroids because they got cocaine in the White House, motherfucker. So they'd be like, Tony Mandra's having a little bit of Deca. That ain't shit. Fuck it.
What's Deca?
Decadura. Oh, Decadurabolin is the best ever, man. It helps lubricates the joints after the fucking Anadrol 50 is fucking kicked. Am I the only guy ever to interview you that brought up Decadurabolin and Don Bracken in the same fucking interview?
And Green Bay groupies.
And the Green Bay groupies that can clean a sturgeon in a fucking shanty.
I've never heard of such a thing. I don't think it exists.
That's why you like this show, because we're fucking real.
Listen, that's right. I mean, you guys bring like the
we're heard in Phoenix. What are we on, 97.3 or 97.1?
The Rattler.
Yeah, we're on 97. I forget which one.
97.3.
It's called the Rattler. 97.3, the Rattler. Our show's heard in Phoenix.
I still, will ponder back and go, why the fuck did they contact me? Because I have lived a sheltered life, a very clean and innocent sheltered life. Why do they want me on their show?
I want you on your show because you're Tony motherfucking Mandrich, and you're my age, and you're a dude's dude, and we have some things in common. I'm a Packer fan. I like anything Packers.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you own your shit. And you're not making any, and I loved your. I know you watched it, but your E60 thing was so inspiring and so great. Yeah. Were you happy on how that turned out?
I was extremely happy. The producer did a great job. Actually, everybody that worked on that, the whole film crew, everybody. I mean, that was filmed over a full 12 months.
Yeah.
And they did that. Depicted the story as real as it is, as real as it was. And
there was a lot of misconceptions about you, and that really, really was so transparent and so moving, and especially you in the way that you haven't ever pulled any punches with regards to, I didn't do that, or I didn't do this, or you guys, no, you're like, no, motherfucker, I did it, and I either regret it, or I wish I would have done something different, or but a lot of people, Tony, don't give you the credit you deserve when you came back with the Colts and fucking nailed it. I mean, you were a great offensive lineman for the Colts, And I mean, and it just took. I mean, you were immature. You just fucked it up in Green Bay. But a lot, and that's what a lot of people note you for, because that was where the most hype was. But people don't understand that when you went and played for the Colts for 96, 97, 98, and you nailed it. I think, weren't you second team All Pro one year?
I'm not sure.
I thought you were.
I was maybe an honorable mention. I'm not sure, but I had one in 1996. I had one comeback player of the year. So, to me, like, out of all the awards, and again, and this is funny because I was speaking with somebody about this the other day. Out of all the awards that I've won, and stuff that I've had, like, I'm talking, since high school, hundreds of things. I've thrown everything away. The only thing I have is a plaque that says 1996 Comeback Player of the Year. That means more to me. It has more value to me personally than anything else.
Well, and that totally is the exclamation point on the vices and your fuck ups. That's the one thing of vindication. You can throw everything else away. Outland Award, all that. Well, I think you were 6th in the Heisman one year, all your bullshit.
Yeah.
But to come back, to get basically thrown out of the league, to be considered, remember they called you the incredible bust and all the bullshit that they fucking that they had to do. And then for you to go to rehab, better yourself. And it's unheard of for a player to take 2 or 3 years off and come back and play in the league
and start.
And now hold on, and it's even more. It's harder for a specialized position like a strong side tackle than it is a guy that's runs a 4.2 and can catch a ball. Like a wide receiver or something like that has a little bit less wear and tear on their body. And you came back and nailed it. And did that have a lot to do with your relationship with Lindy? Was Lindy the only guy that when you wanted to come back after rehab? You leave Green Bay. I think your family kind of had like an intervention and said, Tony, we gotta step in here. We gotta burn a timeout.
It was a nice talk. Yeah.
Well, you were up to what, like 50 painkillers a day?
At the end, when it was really bad, like the last 3, it was bad for 6 years.
What was your painkiller? Like Percocet 325s? Whoa, those are good.
No, it was a combination cocktail that I can't give out, but
it was a good one.
It was a good one, and I was taking when it was really bad. It was like anywhere from 60 to 90 a day.
We had Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, the famous wrestler. Really, really good friend of mine. And when he was
Olympian, he's an Olympian.
Oh, yeah, gold medalist.
Yeah.
He would kick your ass. I'm just telling you. If I'm coming to kick Tony Manders' ass, I'm bringing Kurt fucking Angle. Okay, and I'm coaching him up to do a single leg on your ass and bring you right on that big timber fucking sequoia of yours.
And you better pack a lunch.
Anyway,
because I'm not fighting Kurt Angle. I'm fighting you.
That's true. I'm not even getting out of the car, motherfucker. So we had him on the air. Oh, we've had him on several times. But at his height of his drug, at his highest addiction, he was doing, I think, 65 to 75 Somas and Percocets and Vicodin. I mean, those were his 3.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, how does that not fucking kill a guy?
Well, that's what I ask myself. It's like, why does that not kill you? And for me, it becomes. I mean, when I look back at all the nonsense and all the stuff I put in my body, it's like, for me, it's an act of God that I didn't die. In
Green Bay during practice. I mean, because you smuggle the syringes and then say you had to go pee.
I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, that's a cord right there, buddy.
Yeah, and that's just like that's just damaged vein from shooting.
So would you sneak like a little 31 gauge insulin needle, or would you, and then just like say I'd go to the bathroom,
and the bottle, and the little prescription bottle,
right?
I mean, and a little and a syringe, and it's like, I during the documentary, people would that would be brought up to me like years, and still is brought up. It's like, man, I can't believe you did that. It's like, weren't you ever concerned about syringe, falling off and getting poked or something? And I was like, no, I really didn't worry about that.
Did you have a routine where like, okay, we're going to stretch and then I'm going to go to the bathroom. Like, did you kind of have a routine?
Yes, I did.
See, they didn't even get into the 60-60, but I sniffed it right on out.
Yeah. You should be an investigative reporter.
I should be. I fucking I sniffed your dumb ass out. Tell you that right now. I just knew you'd be a good interview and you and I'd get along. I just knew it. I really did.
Well, I mean, you have quite a sporting cast too.
Oh yeah, well these. I told Anna not to even show up today because she doesn't know anything about sports. She knows
I said,
nothing.
Hey, I'll be here. I like this guy.
She said I like fitness, and I said okay, great.
This is close enough.
So like you'd stretch, and then you'd just tell your offensive lineman coach when you guys would probably break into positions because hey, I gotta go take a piss. Right?
Yeah, and it wasn't right after stretch because I had already probably taken a shot right before I came out
Right.
to stretch. So, I'm still going to be at a certain level of being high. I mean, when I think about this, when I talk about this, it's like, oh my gosh, like the nonsense of thinking that way is so ridiculous.
Like
But
how
that's
high
what-
would you ever be so high that you couldn't comprehend the play?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
like for instance,
yeah.
give me and I love going through NFL plays, and I know you can just rattle one off. Like rattle me off a Green Bay Packer play, that any kind of play, but that they would call that Mikowski would call.
Well, there wouldn't be, there would be some there would be times where they would call a play and then they would call it a check with me. They'd say a check with me 28 or 29, whatever, 38, 39, which is a toss left or a toss right.
Right.
So if he goes up, if the live color is brown, if that's the audible color,
Right.
he could say red 38. We know he's now making a decision that it's going to go to the right, 38, because even is on the right, odd is on the left.
Right. But Brown's the check off, so he hadn't. So it's red. So we're still going.
Right, we're still going.
Right.
If he goes brown, the play will change to anything.
Right.
It's whatever comes out of his mouth next is what the play is. But when you got Indianapolis, and even though it was just a 3 years later, but then you got the sophistication of Peyton and their offensive, and Lindy, and he's an offensive mastermind.
Yeah, but you weren't high in Indy.
No.
So you knew what those plays were, right?
Yes.
But in Green Bay, you're high as a fucking coat. Kai, you don't know if Mikowski called brown, blue, fucking green, red.
Well, I will say that here's a good comparison. This is interesting, actually. Now that you bring it up, it's like I could remember the plays to a certain degree. Sometimes you'd be so high that you'd forget the plays or whatever, but never as bad as getting a concussion.
Really?
Yeah. When I got a concussion in the Meadowlands playing the Jets. Like I literally was in the huddle. Peyton called the play. I look at the guy beside me, who I'm, was my guard. I was at tackle at that time, or he was my tackle. See, I still can't even remember. And I'm like, is this a run or a pass? And he looked at me and he could see my eyes were like.
He knew you were fucked.
Yeah, he's like it's like a scoop block. We're going to the left. He goes, and then the next thing in my head is. You're going to make a mistake, make it full speed.
Well, the thing about it is, if you just know that it's a scoop block, even being fucked up, you can pretty much probably kind of rough that in and not look stupid. Because, you kind of got a general idea what you got to do.
Yeah. It's pretty simple.
You've done it so many times, even if you're high as a fucking goat.
Right.
You can rough it in. But and that was from being concussed.
That was worse. That's worse than being high. Like as far as trying to process things.
Now, were you ever so high where you're feeling good as fuck, and some guy really lays the hammer on you? You're like, man, I'm high as fuck. I didn't even feel that. Fuck it. Like like Tim Harris comes in, gives you a big ass head slap. Bryce Pop fucking smashes you in the knees, and you're like, man, whatever. That ain't shit. Fuck it.
No, I was never that high, like on the field.
Can you remember the highest time ever, either during practice or during a game, specifically?
I do remember the game. This is not a proud moment.
Nothing you and I have done in the last, back 15 years ago was proud.
57 years in the last 57 years.
We just now started getting our shit together. Please, we're broke and we're fucking. It's over. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to. You're trying to take pictures. You're trying to take pictures, and I'm trying to fucking do radio. Please.
We're trying to get airplanes. We're trying.
Yeah, please. There's no more planes. There's no more sturgeons. There's no more shanties.
Right.
There's none of that
Right,
bullshit.
right. There was a time where like the ball was snapped, and I was so high that I was like, I thought it was on like 2, not on 1.
And
the
you're
ball
still
was
in
snapped.
position?
Right, it's because I'm high, right? This is obviously like early '90s, and I'm thinking of my.
And
I
the
thought to
announcers are
myself,
like, Tony Mandrich missed the snap count.
No, they're just like, that's the one where your name doesn't get called out, on the loudspeaker at the stadium. That's the worst part about that is the next day in film when you're watching a film.
Who was your offensive line coach in Green Bay most of the years?
Most of the years, it was a guy named Charlie Davis, who I think lives in the Keys of Florida, and then Tom Lavatt was my last year.
I remember Lavatt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now would they like? I mean, what was film like back? I remember when I had to go through film, they would literally call you a piece of shit. They'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I mean, do they? But I guess on your level, would they still?
Film in Green Bay was literally film. It was literally the projector,
right?
The rolling projector. And then a short 5, 6 years, 7 years later, being in Indy, it went to beta. And then after I retired, they started. I'm like, what are these iPads doing on the sideline?
Right,
because we used to get fax machines down.
Right, they'd fax down the defensive formations, where Richard Dent was lining up at. Right,
right. And I'd be like, why in the world are these players having their iPads checking their emails on the sidelines?
By the way, I think a trivia question that a lot of people don't know is I think you played with Richard Dent in Indy.
Sure did.
On his last couple of years.
Yep, because Bill Tobin was the GM.
Yeah, and I also think that you reunited with Bennett and Workman, Vince Workman and Tony Bennett, the linebacker, were both Colts.
Correct.
Lindy liked them too. So
they were great guys.
So you go to Green Bay's done. Who kicked you? Like who cut you? Like, who was the general man? Was Bratz the general man, or was
no? Bratz had left. It was
the fucking dude that Ron Wolf.
Ron Wolf. Yeah,
Ron Wolf
and Ron Holmgren was the head coach.
Mike Holmgren.
Mike Holmgren. Those were the first 2 years.
After Lindy had left. That's who they brought in.
Yep. And after 1 year of them, my contract was up, and then they kind of.
Do they come to you, or do they come to your agent, or do you show up at the facility and your locker's cleaned out? Like, how does it work?
It was a phone call.
Oh,
to you?
Yeah.
From I'm thinking Wolf.
Correct.
And he says, "Hey Tony, we're just we're gonna go a different direction, or
we're not going to pursue your services anymore."
That's it.
That's it.
Did you say, "Hey, you need anybody to mow the lawn or anything?" I mean, what the fuck?
No, I was respectful, and I remember being respectful and being like, thanks for the opportunity. And then when I shut the phone, I was like, it's their fault,
right?
That I didn't succeed. It's the media's fault. It was everybody's fault at that time.
It's everybody's but your fault. Now, did you still have personal shit like deodorant and stuff down at the locker room? Were you allowed to go back?
No, I already. It was. They let me go in February of '93. So it was February '93. My contract was expiring, and like within days of that, and then, but they said, we're cutting you loose, letting you be a free agent. You can go anywhere you want, and this and that.
And of course, the phone's not ringing because you weren't fucking killing it. Yeah, you had a bad rap. You're blaming everybody else, and then your family steps in and says, "Tony, we've got to get a fucking handle on this." And
after 3 years of hell.
Yeah, and so they put you in rehab, right?
I put myself in rehab.
That's what I meant. I mean, you guys went to rehab. Yeah. And did you go to a rehab in Canada?
Just outside of Detroit. I was living in Michigan at the time.
Why the fuck? Oh, in Traverse City.
Yep, Traverse City.
That's kind of that's a Canadian's way of wanting to stay American, but be close to Canada is living in Traverse City, right?
Well, Canada's America light.
Canada, man.
Canada's gone off the rails.
I mean, we think it's bad down here, and it is. By the way, it's fucked up down here, but man, Jack Trudeau is a fucking asshole.
He's
I mean, I hope you're
I'm
not
not
mad
gonna-
at me for saying that.
No, actually, I'll double down on that, but I'll be careful with what I say because when I hit that immigration line at the airport, I want to be let back into
Right,
the country.
you don't want to be on the no-fly zone based on being the Bubba the Love Sponge show. Don't wear your Bubba Army fucking shirt. I will tell you, we used to have things called these Bubba Palooza things, and we would go and do, like all my guys would get together, and we would have like a 2-hour comedy. We all did a little stand-up and stuff, and we sold out Calgary, the Saddle Dome, made all kinds of fucking money. Then I had to smuggle 300,000 across the Canadian border, and then once I got the Canadian money into America, I had to find this exchange that I could exchange it out. But I
got 60 grand.
But I could only no. So listen, this was like in 2008, and so I had 275,000 Canadian dollars,
Right.
and the dollar would go. The Canadian dollar would go from anywhere from like 90. This is back then, from 92 cents to $1.02.
Oh, so it's pretty good.
Yeah. But I wasn't going to fucking go turn my money in at 92 cents. So I had this dude who's my buddy and wanted some fucking concert tickets for like, Metallica or some bullshit that I could pull off. So he said, listen, you can only turn in 9,900 per time. And I'll tell you the days to come when it's at least $1. It took me a year and a half to get that shit washed because, it fluctuated so much.
Yeah. You just have to call the Bidens.
But I loved Canada. The people up there in Calgary,
they're the best.
They were so nice.
Canadians.
Do you still have family up
great.
there? You still have family?
I have a lot of cousins up in Southern Ontario or GTA, the Greater Toronto Area, so that are in the town that I grew up in. So 45-minute drive to Buffalo and 3-hour drive to Detroit. Lots of cousins. My dad passed away a year and a half ago. Mom passed away July 4th of 17, and my brother passed away February 8th of 93. So as far as nuclear family goes,
man,
there is none. But
that sucks. You're just all on you, Tony. Don't fuck the rest up, buddy.
It does. It's my responsibility to carry their legacy.
So now we used to be heard in Peterborough. I think that's kind of in that area. We were heard there. How many years?
Peterborough's north. I think it's north of Toronto.
About 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, we were there for quite a while. So let's talk about, you go to rehab. Then do you start? When you get all clean? How big are you now? When you go to rehab, do you still stay on the gas a little bit, or are you off the gas too?
What's gas? Define gas.
Gas. What the fuck gas is? Steroids. That's what we always.
No steroids.
You guys never called it the gas?
No, we called it the juice or the sauce.
Oh, we always call it look at how much gas that guy's on. Yeah, we that guy's on some high octane.
Right.
That must have been Indiana thing.
Must have been a white trash Indiana thing. The real steroid guys, we called it juice too. When you'd see a guy at the gym and he had these big boils on his back, you're like, man, that guy's taking too much Cypionate or some kind of bullshit like that. You might want to go water-based, buddy.
Right. Well, no, when I left treatment, there was nothing. I didn't do steroids since I left college. I never did them in Green Bay. The main thing was the painkillers and the alcohol.
Now, did they have you so scared in Green Bay because of the stringent testing that you just like, fuck it, I'm going to get on pain pills or pain injections?
Their testing was, it was like blood work, and it was way more intense testing than college. But now the testing is like even more crazy.
Well, now they test for growth. And
I don't think they really can't test for growth.
That's some good shit too. I know some boys that are on it. That is some good. But what I'm afraid of growth is that it'll accelerate. Like if you have any cancers, is that true? If you got any cancer in your body, it'll accelerate the cancer.
Although once I was called a doctor, I'm not a doctor, so I cannot answer that question.
I know you can't, but you're a doctor of the gym. You're a gym doctor. You're a PhD at the gym, talking gym language.
Here's what I'll say to that. If they're kind of testing out something for 8 or 9 months and saying it's safe to take, which we know what we're talking about.
Right.
Then why do they question stuff that's been around for decades? And if
true.
not, longer. It's like, so.
Hey, I'll take growth over a vaccine any fucking day. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just saying.
Well, you've had both.
I mean,
so.
I've had both, so fuck it. And I didn't want. The only reason I got the vaccines because my mom made me. She's like, I can't come see her unless I
My
get the
mommy
fucking
made me.
Well, I mean, listen. I mean, she she's 70 some years old, and if
Yeah,
she hits
yeah.
the bucket, I didn't want the whole fucking family
Yeah.
to be able
I
to.
understand.
Bubba didn't get. I wish I wouldn't have got the vaccine. To be
I know you
honest
have
with
the
you.
vaccine regret.
So you go to rehab, you become dry, and at
Yep.
that time when you are completely does the world just kind of open up? Be like,
Oh
holy
my
fuck!
gosh.
It's like a. Remember the first time when you needed glasses and then you put glasses on, you're like, holy shit, everything's so sharp and I can see. Was it that kind of the same thing with rehab?
Exactly. You exactly described it right on. And that happened to me for 2 full years. The first 2 years I was sober, every month things got clearer and clearer, not just visually, although visually it did also, but mentally, the mental clarity, all that stuff. At 11 months of being sober, I was back in the NFL. I signed the contract.
Well, how
Yeah,
much mass did you lose? Like when you were in rehab?
Well, it was not just rehab. It was those 3 years of doing nothing.
In Green Bay.
No. Well, leaving Green Bay, then going to Traverse City, doing nothing but drugging for 3 years
Right.
and drinking, and then getting sober. So when I left treatment, went in March 23rd of 95, I was in there 17 days. When I left, I mean, I had like jaundice. So I had a shade of yellow on my skin. And I was like 255 pounds. And the worst part is I had a mullet halfway down my back.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right. That's when
wow.
you had that mullet shit going on. You thought you were Guns N' Roses. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, they never had mullets, but I just thought it did.
You were a fucking rock star, man. You had your shit marketed with Mike Tyson, Axl Rose. You were in the gym in
Pepsi.
California. I mean, you now when you were marketing when you were at your hottest, when you were pre-combining, was it all you on the marketing? Like it was just you, or did you have somebody helping you? Hey, listen, we need to do this, we need to do that, or was it just your dumb ass just fucking pulling shit right out of your ass and people believing it?
Well, it wasn't. It was my dumb ass for sure.
Sure.
But it was a plan. I mean, I literally kind of was like, "What's the best way to get my name out there as an offensive lineman?" Because everybody that's getting the PR or the skill
Yeah,
positions.
you had Dion, you had
Yeah.
Aikman, you had Sanders, and you had the linebacker
Thomas.
from Thomas. All far
Derek
more
Thomas.
sexier positions than offensive linemen.
way more. And Dion was a master at marketing.
Did you know that he's one of my best friends?
Yeah, you did. You told me
Yeah,
that.
I just got him a new Skag zero-turn lawnmower for free.
Why are you laughing?
Is he gonna cut the grass in Colorado?
No, but he likes to. He said he likes to cut his own on Sundays. That's his therapy.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So,
I could see that. I could understand that.
did you ever have to go against Dion? Did you ever play against Dion?
Twice in college and more than probably 5-6 times in the pros.
In the pros.
Yeah,
Was he
great.
good?
I mean, the best athlete I've ever seen in my life.
I got in so much trouble in 1996 when the Packers were playing Dallas for the NFC Championship game
Right.
in Dallas. Dion, I'd met Dion 2 years earlier in Tampa when he was promoting his rap album, and we became really, really good friends. And
He's
so
a great guy.
He called me up and he said, "Sponge, you want to come to the ball game?" I said, "Yeah." So I fly out there. I stay at his house. And I'm real fat. I'm much fatter back then. And I got stuck in his bathtub. But I did.
It happens. It happens.
I did. I mean, well, that's a whole other
He was
story.
weighing about what, 48 then?
I was weighing like 400. I was so fucking fat.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was fat as fuck. I was so fat I couldn't even wipe my ass. I had to have an ass towel. I had to fucking
What happened?
Go like this.
He has small arms.
Well, yeah.
He had alligator arms.
I got T-Rex arms. I do. That's
Yeah,
why I
like
was a horrible offensive
like a wide
lineman.
receiver, like a wide receiver coming across the middle in the old days.
Yeah, when you got alligator arms, when you thought the inside linebacker was going to wring your fucking neck
Right,
and you pulled in real
right.
fucking fast.
Right.
So we go to the game. I'm in the limo with Dion. We go to the game. It's against the Packers now. You understand? I'm a lifelong Packer fan. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I can fucking tell you who John Brockington was and anything.
Best fans in the world.
And so Dion knows I'm a Packer fan. That's why he invited me. So we go there, and they give me this pass where I can go anywhere I want, including the locker rooms. I can't go to Green Bay's locker room, but I can go to Dallas's locker room. So I'm watching the game. Well, the whole first half, I'm over on the Packers sideline. I'm looking at Brett Favre and Chris Jackie, and I'm like, oh, my God. that's when Jim McMahon was backup quarterback for the people don't know that. And I'm like, man, these are all my fucking fuck, I can't believe. So I go at halftime. It's a super close game. It's like 21-17 or something like that. It's touch and go. And Dion goes, Bubba, where the heck you been? I go, I've been over at the Packers sideline looking at Brett Favre and Reggie White. He goes, don't forget who brought you to the dance, brother. I couldn't go over the rest of the game. I had to stay over on the Dallas side. I just couldn't believe how big those motherfuckers were.
Yeah. And they can move how fast the game is.
That's the thing. When I was down at the sideline for warm-ups, I was like, it's not the size, it's the speed.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Was that the biggest adjustment you had? I mean, you dominated at Michigan State, but I mean, you didn't have to go against anybody as fast as, Richard Dent or, Tim Harris or anybody like that.
There was like maybe one or two players, and I couldn't even rattle their names off now. But you're talking like one or two players over 5 years at Michigan State. I mean, you're facing these guys pretty much every week on Sunday.
Right.
You're the best of the best, and they've all got a specialty, whether it's strength or whether it's speed or whether it's and then some of them have the total package, like Reggie White. It's like he could do everything.
Yeah, you told last time we had you on. You told us he just fucking made you look stupid as hell one time. Did he? God bless you. Because with Ty J, our buddy Ty J, before he fucked Ty J up, he God blessed him. He told him, God bless you.
You told me that.
And then he fucking went on and made Ty J look like a complete punk.
Let me just say, I didn't say the GD phrase ever again.
Ever.
In that game. That game, I never said it again.
Right.
And rarely do I say it now.
Yeah, I try to stay away from it. It's so polarizing,
Listen, the thing that I fear the most, more than anything today, is the wrath of God that I have to face.
Yeah, I fear the wrath of whoever's up there. I'm just saying.
I know I have a good idea who it is, and that's more fear of that than anything else, which is what brought me to this, stage of my life.
Yeah, but people got to be pulling, like people that know your story and know your spirituality and know your transparency. They got to really be, it's a great story. And people really have to be, do you meet a lot of people that are pulling for you and do you do a lot of public speaking? Because you should.
I do. And, I would say 99% of my experiences with people are fantastic. I mean, they're just like, I just can't believe that you went what you went through and you still are fairly normal. Like you can still carry on a conversation, because a lot of people get messed up, and it's I know I have a lot of friends that died from chemical abuse.
Oh yeah.
And more from pharmaceutical chemical abuse than other stuff.
And people don't realize, you were on, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you were on the opiate pain pill deal kind of legally, meaning like, you're not out at these pill mills that pop up here and there.
Right.
You were on it prescribed through probably a Packer physician. Now you were abusing it, yes.
Well, 10 different doctors. Yeah,
your doctor. Maybe a little doctor shopping going on, but still, nonetheless, but this is a really, really big issue that we have here in the country, because where people go with it is once they can't get that, then they go to heroin.
Or they go to the street, right?
Right.
And that's the problem now with the fentanyl thing, because one dose will kill you.
Yeah, so let's say you're on pain pills. Not you. Let's just say hypothetically, a guy he has to get his fix. He goes to meet Guido at the fucking corner. He thinks he's buying 10 Vicodin or whatever the hell it is. Doesn't know that two of them were pressed with fentanyl, because you don't know who you don't know. You're not getting them from you're not getting them at CVS or your pharmacy, and you're dead. Right. You're literally what we would take recreationally, or what you would take for your fix, that you knew what you were taking. Like you never had to worry about your shit being deadly as far as it killing you instantaneously. I don't think so.
Until recently, the last 3 years.
Well, no, until this fentanyl shit, came in.
Right.
I mean, but
as
when you
far
were
as from pharmaceutical and from
yeah,
the
yeah, when
government,
you were in
it's
when you were in the portalet at between plays,
would hope it would work.
hitting that left-handed vein, Willie, you knew what the hell you were putting in there. You knew that Guido didn't step on your shit.
Yeah, I never questioned it because it was like I trust the FDA. I trust pharmaceuticals.
Sure. Well, you were pulling it from the vial that it was prescribed from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
if it has a lot number and if it has the label, and
right,
it says it's legit. And now it's like, I don't even trust that anymore.
Now, no names mentioned. You played on 2 teams professionally. Were there no names mentioned? Not even positions, not even offense or defense. But were there other guys that were also that had a problem too that you knew of on the team?
Oh, 100, absolutely, 100%.
I mean, was it
100%?
Was it rampant?
It was, as far as like opiate, like steroids are almost a non-issue in the NFL right now because growth hormone is a big issue.
Right.
But nobody wants to talk about growth hormones because you're going to take money revenue away from the sponsors of TV and ESPN or Amazon, who's ever sponsoring all these games now. That's where the big money comes from for the NFL, and virtue signaling. And it's gotten crazy as far as, and there's been a lot of people that knew my story before I even went public with it, before I even wrote my book. When I was playing in Indy, there were people that knew my story because I let people know without broadcasting it like to the media.
Right.
And so there was people on the team whose wife had a problem, or they had a problem, or their mom had a problem, or their dad had a problem, or their sister or brother had a problem. What should I do? What do you think is the best protocol? And I could, and I would say, look, I can only share my experience with you. This is, go to a professional. If it was somebody I knew that was had a problem that was there, I'd say, hey, let's go meet, for coffee and let's just talk. Let's just talk and check out the similarity. We live 2 different total lives. Me and your sister live 2 totally different types of lifestyle. But look at how much we have in common when it comes to abuse of alcohol or drugs. Almost everything's in common. Like the way we do it, how we hide it, all that behavior, all that nasty behavior.
Right. Your occupation and what you do in life is probably 90 degrees of difference, but the fix and how you get it, how you're untruthful about it, how you're not transparent, how you're ashamed of it, all of that is the very, very same. Just pick, it just depends on what your poison is. I think that probably in the league, I don't know anybody that plays in the league anymore, but probably in the league, growth would be, and this is just us talking candidly, growth would probably be the only thing these guys could do to get big or to get,
Well, yeah, and the biggest thing with growth is that your recovery, it heals a lot faster. Like it makes your body heal faster. So, every day or every Sunday you're getting pummeled. Then you got practice. So when you're taking growth hormone, your body's healing on a much faster rate than the player that's not taking growth hormone. And
it's legal. And it's legal. I mean,
no, I don't know. It's not
in the
legal.
NFL.
And not
in the NFL.
There was a report that they said, I think they said 30 to 40% of the players they believe are on growth.
How about testosterone replacement? Like guys our age, we can go down to the testosterone replacement place and get us a couple cc's.
Correct. I think that's illegal. I think it's on the ban list. There's a list. They literally call it.
Yeah, but hold on now.
List.
Like, do they have like levels? Like, because like a male, a male can be like 300 to 1100. I like to run like 1050. But I mean, but I mean, they if you're a,
are you afraid to run 1100?
No, I've ran 5400 before, just short of bitch tits. But anyway,
what was Hogan running?
Listen to this. When Hogan was my friend, when Hogan was my buddy, I swear to God, true story. We were lifting weights, and now if you do, the other one thing is if you do legs, and you get tested, somehow legs, when you train legs hard, it increases your testosterone level like a lot. Like sometimes 1,000 points if you really train legs. So
Who
one
told
day,
you that?
no, I've seen
heard it before as well.
Oh, okay.
Look, I might have just stumped you on a steroid question. I'm telling you that right now. and had a Don Bracken reference. So we had just shot, I think, two cc's of testosterone, and Hogan forgot that he had to go to the doctor the next day to get his levels checked. He was completely above board.
Oh,
He was completely above board. Like it wasn't, completely above board. And he would get his levels checked, for growth and for test and estrogen, all the shit. Thyroid, fucking, insulin.
Right.
And he whacked like I think either 2 or 3 cc's. Then we fucking worked out legs like supersetted legs. So he went to the doctor the next day, got his shit taken, his levels taken and stuff, and I got mine taken too. We went to the same doctor, and so we were working out about a week later together. The doctor calls on the speakerphone, and he goes, "Bubba, your level is about 1150. That's good." He goes, "But Terry, I'm concerned. How much testosterone are you doing?" And Hogan's like, "Oh, I'm just like, cc and a half." He was doing like 3 or 4. I'm not kidding you. I lay my hand to God. His levels were 13,000.
No way.
13,000. And they made him come back to take it again, and they'd level off to 11.5 after a couple of days.
Wow.
And so they get completely And then we were on the growth. We were on the growth like in, let me see, 99.
Before it was cool.
It was called the Bridge Program, and you get it out of St. Louis, all above board, all prescription, and you had like that little injectable pen deal. So we would do, growth, test, and then we chase that up with a little Deca, maybe a little little Winnie, and then just fucking get dialed in. Yeah, fuck strong as shit, doing 315 for triples on the incline, back in the day.
Right.
And then you get old and fat, and everything goes to shit.
No, there's no excuse.
What were you benching your senior year
Of college?
No, high school.
Not as much as you think. I was like 365.
Now, when did you first discover who's the person? I think I told my story. There was a guy named Bobby Boyce, the Missouri Valley Monster, and he had a big syringe on the back of his weightlifting belt. And I asked him, and he sold me Anavar for like 20 of them for $100. Like he completely ripped me off. But what was your first? Who was the guy that said, "Hey Tony, let me give you some shit that will just fucking make you a monster"?
The guy that introduced me to it was my brother, and he was like, I'm not saying you should take it.
Is this when he's at Kent State? He's a freshman at Kent State?
He's a senior at Kent State.
All right.
I'm a senior at Kent Roosevelt.
Right.
Living with him at Kent State. And that's when he introduced me to, FYI, this is what I do. He goes, and we both discussed, we think that at that time we thought, that was the only road to the NFL.
Right.
For our position. And so I was like, well, let me think about it. And he was like, he wasn't saying you should take it. He was just like,
hey, this is potentially what I've seen it do,
Yeah. Well, and he's done it. And he was like, it works. I've done it.
And was John getting jacked?
Yeah.
I mean, jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was wasn't he a linebacker?
No, he was a nose tackle.
Nose tackle. How big was John at his biggest?
He was 6'4", like 290, 300.
Beast. Yeah. Could you
relentless?
Like, could you have blocked him your freshman year at Michigan State, his first year out of college, and you guys are one-on-one on an Oklahoma Willie? No. He would have killed you.
He would have killed me.
And so John says, "Okay, listen, Tony. Listen, Ante, Joseph. How do you say that?"
Ante is Tony in Croatian.
So this motherfucker.
Josip is Joseph in English.
Right.
That's not a Catholic name.
Did your mom and dad call you that when you were real fucking up? Like if you're just cool, it was Tony. But if you were really fucking up, they called you that.
How about this? I learned Croatian before I learned English.
Really?
We spoke it in the house. I talked to my parents their whole life when I would talk to them on the phone or whatever, up until last year and a half with my dad, or up to 6 years ago with my mom. We'd speak in Croatian.
Like when you would call her up and stuff and say, "Hey, Mom, happy Mom's Day. What the fuck's going on?" You guys straight Croatian.
All Croatian. I
Are
can
you-
speak it, read it, and write it as fluently as English.
At Michigan State, were all the Croatian little freaks trying to get a little Croatian action?
There wasn't very many. There was a few. There wasn't very many.
What are Croatian women like? Are they hot?
Beautiful. Absolutely the hottest.
Why don't you got one of those over there right now? I'm just saying.
Well, look at me.
What do you mean, look at you? You're Tony motherfucking Mandrich.
Nobody cares.
Oh, you're just not. You know, fuck you. You lost your marketing skills. You used to be able to market like a motherfucker. Now you've given up.
No, I haven't given up. The thing is, I don't want to deal with all the nonsense out in the world right now.
You know what? I agree. There's so much bullshit
There's
going
a lot
on.
of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit.
And here's the thing. Like, if you do something, you know, then somebody can come back on you. You know,
I don't care. They can come back on me with whatever they want. They just better pack a lunch.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, what if, like, you go out with some hot Croatian chick and everything was consensual and you laid her the Tony Mandrich fucking Calgary snake, and next thing you know, she says, Tony Mandrich, you know, took me and I did not like that and I did not want that. And meanwhile, it was completely consent. That's the kind of, then she gets on her Twitter and she gets on the motherfucking Instagram and all of a sudden, you know, that's the shit I'm talking about. Then she shakes you down and next thing you know, you're writing a $30,000 check for that bitch to go away.
Yeah, then she could sue me for my debt.
Yeah, I'm in debt too. I got the IRS all over my ass. I had to hire an attorney to keep them off me.
Unreal. All
right,
Welcome
so
to the USA.
So you take, what was that very first steroid? Was it? Let me guess. Dynaball.
Yeah.
The little blue ones.
The little blue ones.
The little blue ones. They were so nice, weren't they?
Yeah, they were, and it was
they
amazing.
got you strong. They got you strong.
They did, and then I was like, well, I had that mentality of one little blue pill can get you that strong. Can you imagine what two of them can do, or three of them?
And then can you imagine? Like, and then if you can throw an Anadrol 50 on top of that with a fucking Deca Chaser.
And I think I told you the story about the Anadrol 50. It's like I could only take that for a couple of days because after starting to take that, it's like I was looking for fights.
You were just looking to beat fucking people up.
Just angry.
So that you were like, I'll stay on the Dynaball, the Anadrol 50.
I would use it for a like a kicker to start a cycle, like for 2 or 3 days, and then I would
just to get you mad as a fucking hornet. Were you really mean? Like, were you just a miserable, mean motherfucker?
I wasn't miserable.
Just me. I mean, not miserable, but just mean.
I think a lot of people confuse mean with focused.
Well, that's what mean people say.
That's what Bubba's been saying for 30
That's what big mean people say when you're guilty.
No,
that's what Bubba tells me every day.
What's that, Anna?
That's what Bubba tells me every day.
Yeah.
I'm just focused, you stupid bitch.
I'm just focused, you stupid bitch. You don't know the pills I take. I take lots of pills to fucking maintain my shit.
Here's the thing. It's like, when you're focused on something that you want to accomplish, and what do I do in my day that helps me get to that goal? Anything else that's distracting me from that goal is a distraction. So I remove it, or I remove myself from that distraction. And that people confuse that with, being a dick. And it's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to reach my goal.
Yeah, but also there came a point at Michigan State where you were big motherfucking man on campus too. Let's not forget that. They're probably after your sophomore year, you probably were the shit, right?
Yeah, I would say probably I was an All-American twice. So
yeah. After your sophomore year, going into your junior year, you redshirted your first. You had two.
Yep.
Then then you were on All-American for your junior and senior. So for like 2.5, 3 years, it's like, oh my God, that's motherfucking Tony Mandrich. He'll kill a man if you look at him sideways. And he's fucking all the cheerleaders. But anyway, other than that.
That's not true. I would not kill anybody.
Now, when you are that much big man on campus, like Dion told me this, so you can lie about it if you want, but Dion said, Sponge, my last year I never set foot in a classroom. I knew I was going pro. So like, was that for the same thing for you too, Tony?
No, I went to class. I didn't obviously graduate. I only graduated last December. I went back after 38 years and just I had 5 courses I was short, so I graduated online. But
really, that's cool.
Yeah. But I think it was important to finish something you started. But the thing is,
and you know what, your parents would be so proud of that if they were, that would be something that they would really, really be into.
Well, that's part of the core value system that how they raised their family. It was like, there's a lot of stuff I did that was nonsense and stupid. And it's like, no, mom and dad didn't teach me that. That was of my own doing.
Yeah, that's Tony. That's Tony world, not mom and dad Croatian world.
Right, exactly.
Now, was your dad, was he a badass? I mean, raising you and John, I mean, he was he from badass. Croatia, first generation?
Yeah. Him and my mom, like, escaped Yugoslavia, which was at that time, Croatia was a province in Yugoslavia. So they escaped for the sole fact of communism and spent 9 months in a refugee camp in Austria while they were getting background checks to come to Canada, like they do now at the border.
So how long? 9 months?
9 months
in a camp.
In a refugee camp while they were getting background checks done by Canada, because that's where their destination was. And when they got cleared, they came to Canada and wanted to make a better life.
Immigration has gotten far simpler, right?
Yeah, apparently it's
there's no background checks really.
There's some policy changes.
Oh yeah, we got some policy changes. All right. So now they decided, what made them maybe pick Canada over America?
I think there was somebody already in the Mandarich family from Croatia or Yugoslavia at the time that had done it like a year prior. And so they already knew somebody there. And then when they got their paperwork and became citizens and all that, and my dad was a lumberjack up in Northern Canada for 10 years.
I bet he was a rugged motherfucker.
He was one of the toughest people I've ever
How big was he? Like how big?
6 foot, like 210, not like the biggest guy in the world. Bigger than your average guy, but not the biggest guy in the world.
But a fucking lumberjack. Like, he's not working at a penny. He's not as an accountant. He's a fucking lumberjack.
He was relentless.
Did he ever have to wear that ass out? You got a little lippy, and he had to just fucking wear that ass out. Like, wait, because I grew up in the same generation that you did, and my dad would beat me. My dad would beat me.
He only had to do it twice.
Oh. What were they over? Talking back to mom?
Oh, yeah. No, the first time was like, like something like mow the lawn. I did mow the lawn while he's working all day on construction or after, or doing something that's, whatever job he was doing at the time. And I didn't do it because I was too busy, wanting to
playing Pong.
Yeah, or something, right? Pong, I think, just came out.
That's all we had, motherfucker, was Pong. You and I were the same, maybe playing with our Rubik's Cube or our pet fucking rock.
Right. and I remember, he disciplined me, and I was like, oh, that shit hurts, right?
Yeah.
And then, but a year later, this is between 5, 6, 7 years old. I think I got a little sassy with him. I just it wasn't like nothing what you would think of today. I just probably said something flippantly that was like, just, definitely not like something the kid would say today.
Yeah. And like, yeah, right, Dad. Or something, something bullshit.
Exactly.
Not like today's kids that would tell you to go fucking jump off a bridge, you stupid asshole.
I'm going to sue you and I'm going to do this.
And as soon as you touch me, I'm calling child services and you're going to be locked the fuck up.
So my dad hit me that second time and I was like, everything became crystal clear on understanding
how this shit works. This shit works. Now, how about John? Did John ever have to, because John was a little bit older than you, probably getting into some mischief.
John was a little, as much as I was a rebel, John was a little bit even more of a rebel.
Oh, hell yeah. Here you are like in 8th grade and he's like in like 11th, 12th grade.
No, I was in 8th grade. Well, when I entered high school, he was leaving high school. So
yeah, I know, but in your middle school years, your brother was a big slinging dick and so you don't think that you didn't want to hang out with that element, and he told you that you weren't cool enough, so get the fuck out of here.
At St. Michael's Elementary School in Oakville, I remember him telling a mom from another kid to lay the fuck off my little brother.
Really?
I was like, oh my gosh. Like my brother was like screaming at his mom. It's like, tell your kid to stay away from my little brother. If he ever gets near him, I'm going to come to your house.
Yeah, like stuff you could do back then that you couldn't do today. You couldn't do any of that. So Tony, when you went to go play high school, your final year of high school, and it was John's final year of college at Kent State, Did you have a lot of colleges recruiting you? I know Nick Saban is the one that got to you, but
Right.
did you have everybody and their brother? Like, were you an instantaneous? Like, that was IU,
No.
Ohio State,
There was-
Wisconsin?
Look, Ohio State was where I wanted to play. And part of it was probably being in Ohio that last
Sure.
year, and they were Big Ten, they were big time football. There was probably a dozen what we would call big schools, Division I big schools that play on TV and stuff that recruited me, but not like Dion, not like Dion was recruited and some of these other players were recruited.
No, but like who? I mean, did you have a Michigan? Did you have an
Michigan?
IU? Lee Corso was probably talking to you.
Yep, IU, and then Ohio State told me that they didn't think I had what it took to play there, and I think that it was just I think there was a rule about how many Canadians or how many foreigners you can have on your team in college,
Which is completely opposite of today. Now they make you have more. Back then it was, we're going to ration this out, and now it's, we want to put. I mean, now it's a fucking, we want to put as many foreigners as we can. In fact, we want more foreigners than we do Americans.
Like I say, I want the best pilot flying the plane.
Did you go? Now, where were your visits? Did you do a visit?
I went to Michigan. I went to Michigan State, obviously. I went to Kent State. But as soon as I went to Michigan State, I knew that was the place. It was blue collar. George Perlis was the head coach. He reminded me of my dad. He was iron fist. He was a defensive coordinator for the Steelers when they won the 4 Super Bowls in the 70s.
Right. And Nick Saban is the guy that ended up in your living room. I think Nick Saban was
multiple times
the guy that you were drawn to as well.
And he's Croatian.
Yeah, and he's Croatian.
Did you guys talk Croatian?
He knew very little of it,
right?
But yeah, we did. He's a great human being. I mean, sometimes people give him a bad rap because he said he was going to this or that, or I don't like his attitude, or it's like, well, do you like to fucking win?
Well, here's the deal: if you don't like Nick Saban, then you're you are jealous because
Agreed.
I mean,
Agreed.
I like you always know where you stand with him.
Yeah.
He's still old school. Smash mouth fucking football, and arguably will go down as the greatest college coach in the history of college.
And who would have thought, and Bear Bryant being there, many decades before him, who would have thought that he would really leave Bear Bryant as this afterthought? Not that he's an afterthought, but Bear Bryant is iconic.
I mean, Bear Bryant is, this might piss some people off, but Bear Bryant is not the greatest coach Alabama's ever had.
No, he's not.
He's two.
He was at one point.
Sure, before Nick got there. And even probably halfway through Nick's tenure, but then Nick just started reeling him off.
And I don't think Nick's finished.
No, but I'm afraid Nick might get fucked by the NIL. I think
that's a whole different philosophy.
Can you imagine the way you marketed yourself, which was absolutely brilliantly, and all you had to do was worry about the combine and build and hype up? That was the only thing. Now, can you imagine how many companies? Because you were on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
You were.
He had Pepsi. He did a Pepsi commercial.
You did it beautifully. Can you imagine if there's supposedly there's $5 and $6 million football guys, Lummy? I think it's going to ruin the sport, Tony.
I don't like it. I think Nick did address it about a year ago because it's been around now. 3-4 years?
Yeah, it's going on 3. When he addressed it,
but it's
Jimbo
wide.
Fisher.
3 or 4 years ago wasn't as wide. Now it's just fucking wide open. Now it's wide open.
He addressed it and said, "I don't want players that don't want to face adversity, and the reason a lot of these players leave the places that they're at is because there is an adversity." Of the coach is not starting me or this or that, which it's like some of that does exist and some of it is favoritism or politics, but it's like you have to face adversity and overcome adversity to.
Now you just jump in the portal if your feelings get hurt and you don't have to sit. Back in the day, I think you had to sit out a year and it was a big. It was a big. Now it's just hey, the coach maybe run 3 extra fucking laps. I hate this place. I'm out of here.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, and I don't agree with that.
Well, that's why he was calling out Jimbo Fisher because he landed the most NIL players.
Fuck Jimbo
And
Fisher. I think he sucks.
He went 7-5, and Nick Saban's like, "Well, I made it to the playoffs." So we'll see what happens.
But the only one you remember is the one that wins.
Yep.
Saban, I'll tell you one thing. Jimbo Fisher better win some shit this year, or he's out of there because he's been a fail.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the best NIL program because of all that oil money. And I mean, right? Doesn't he have? I mean, like
he lands the most, the highest recruits. He gives the most.
I wonder how Dion's going to do at Colorado. What do you think, Tony?
I think he's going to kick ass.
I do too.
I hope he does. I really hope he does too, because I'm pulling for him. I really like Dion. He's always been good to me. And
hey, would you? Now Dion's like fucking my best buddy. Would you meet me in Boulder for a game?
Absolutely.
For real.
Absolutely.
And I'll
100%.
I'll be your hype man too. I'll be your fucking hype man. Be like, yeah, you offensive lineman, fucking. I'm having my boy put on some fucking pads here, bitches. You better stop.
Well, and Dion, he was in the E60. They talked about about the stuff. So and we did a lot of preseason All-American, like because we were picked preseason All-American our senior years, like for Playboy preseason All-American, Kodak preseason All-American.
So you guys before, like you guys
we got to know each other,
right?
Yeah. And can you imagine him in the NIL?
Oh
my God!
His whole fucking life's been in NIL. I mean, he used to
that guy can market.
Oh my God! He used to tell me 3 things: if it don't make money, it don't make sense, and if I'm getting out of bed, somebody's paying for it. And he said, if whatever in your life isn't multiplying and adding is probably subtracting and dividing, and you need to get rid of it.
That's that last part is especially great.
He's such when I went through my really, really tough times and some of the controversies that I've been part of, he was one of my main friends that didn't turn their back on me. He's genuine and he's old school, and I'd love to coordinate so that we meet in Boulder and go hang out and shit.
Awesome.
That'd be great.
It'd be awesome.
So listen. We're going to play the word association game before I let you go, and it's just I'm just going to name a name, and this is a player that you've played with, and just the first thing that comes off your head. Just it could be multiple words, it doesn't have to be one word. Just your first thought. Okay.
Okay.
Leroy Butler.
Awesome.
Ron Holstrom.
Very awesome.
Now, some of them are going to be.
Ron Holstrom, very awesome human being. I mean,
hold on. Where did Ron Holstrom play college ball?
Iowa.
There you go. Okay. Now, some of them are going to be a little bit deep Packer shit that only like you and I would nobody else would know. Ready?
Okay.
Herman Fontenot.
Herm. Good guy.
Great guy. Daryl Thompson.
Great guy.
Running back out of Minnesota. Out of Minnesota.
39.
I think they drafted him first, and he never really.
19th overall.
Jackie Harris.
No comment.
Okay, we'll leave.
I mean, I don't know enough, so I just say no comment.
No comment. Now here's a name that's gonna blow your mind. You may not even know the guy, but I know he was on the team. Vi Sikahama.
Oh, I remember Vi.
Remember, he was unbelievable.
Shorty.
Is that what they called him, Shorty?
No, that's what I'm calling him now.
Oh.
He played for Philly, too.
Yeah, and he was I think the Packers got him in for 1 year just to be a return specialist.
Yeah, he was good dude.
Here's one of my all-time favorite Packers, Chuck Cecil.
Yeah, man, Chuck laid the wood to people coming across the middle.
Bald-headed and all, right?
And just you look at him like in a T-shirt and jeans, and you're like, that's Chuck Cecil who like annihilates people on the field. It's like,
Robert Brown.
Oh, he was a stud.
Big guy, right?
Great player, quiet, just a good dude.
Jeff Query.
Next.
Brian Noble.
Good guy.
And Marshall Falk. Next.
No. He's a pro.
That's it.
He's a pro. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few names there. I wish you would have mentioned. I would have gave you some nice, colorful answers. But we'll leave that for next time.
Jeff Burris.
Jeff Burris. I don't even think I remember.
Colts.
I do barely remember him, but not enough to give you.
And I know you this. I know you know this guy. You paid right beside him, Adam Meadows.
Good, funny as hell.
I was told
Funny.
I was told by a friend to ask you specifically about him because you guys,
Good.
I supposedly were good friends, and he is funnier than shit's what I was told.
Funnier than shit. Played at Georgia, right? I think. And if we have 2 minutes, I can tell you.
We got more. We got all the time in the world. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to take
Georgia.
pictures, and I got to go take a nap. You got. I mean, that's,
There's a drill called inside drill, and it's right after. It's like probably the first third of practice, and it's basically take out the wide receivers, take out the safeties, and all that, and it's basically 15 plays that are scripted, and and we're telling the defense we're running every play. It's called inside drill.
so it's just the boys in the box and the linebackers.
The boys in the box and the linebackers and the running backs and
the quarterback.
Quarterback.
Does tight end stay?
Tight end stays.
Tight end stays. Wide receivers,
ends.
flankers
Yeah.
gone.
Yep. And
Boom.
100% we're not passing. There's no play action. There's no faking. It's all run. It could be a toss. It could be a lead up the middle. And so, I mean, they're anchoring down. Okay. So it's hot and humid as shit in Anderson, Indiana during camp. And so they have 15 plays scripted. The starters run the first 5. Second team runs the second 5. Third team or third 5 reps or 10 through 15 goes back to the first team starters. So me and Adam are starters. I'm playing guard at the time. He's playing tackle. So we run it's brutal. So it's a hard drill to begin with. We run 5 plays. Our guys that are our backups are hurt that day. So we have to stay in and run basically
10. Now you got to run 5 more.
Right. And then the last 5 we run anyway. So we know we're running 15. This is before we even run the first one because our guys that are our backups are hurt.
Right.
So we're like, hey, fuck it, pull up your big boy panties and do it. You're getting paid 7 figures to do this, do it. Right. And after the first, like you're in the huddle before the first play and the sweat's just
now, is this with Harbaugh or with Peyton?
This is with Peyton.
Right.
And Lindy is head coach. And Lindy's like standing right there and we run like, 7, 8 plays, 9 plays, and we're starting to get tired, right? And it's like we get to the 13th play, and it could have been Adam, like he flinched, like it jumped offside, not like obviously, but flinched, right? False start, and like they stopped it. This is like the 13th play. He stopped the drill, and he's getting cussed out, and coach is screaming at him, and he's like, get back in the huddle, and let's call another play. So this is now the 13th play again. So we run the 13th play fine, 14th play fine, 15th play, I jump.
You get your ass reamed out.
I wish. Fuck it. Start the drill over.
Back to 1?
Back to 1. It was so ridiculously hot and humid. We were sweating.
The Players Association wouldn't even allow that in today's standard.
Oh, I know. So we're in the huddle, and it was the huddle at that time where we still had our hands on our knees, and I'm looking at Adam, and he's looking at me. We're beside each other, and it was like one of those fucking moments of like. And he looked at me. He goes, "Are you fucking
kidding me?"
He goes, "This is not worth seven."
He's like, "This ain't worth the $1.6 million they're paying me. Suck my dick. Fuck off. I'm not doing 30 plays."
It became like we became punch drunk. It was like, I don't care anymore. I don't care if I die.
I don't care if I hit the guy.
I don't care if I lose a limb. I don't care. I don't care if I miss my block. It was like we were that delirious. We ended up running like 30 plays.
Jeez.
And how did you guys do?
I mean, we did it. We did it,
but would they measure it on whether you get a first down or not? Would they measure it like on that, or would they just measure it on? I mean, would measure it on yards.
4 yards. 4 yards.
4 yards.
4 yards. Because 3 plays, 4 yards, first down, right?
Did you like playing for Jim Mora?
Yeah, I did. I didn't mind it. I thought he was a good coach. One
of my last couple questions, Tony, is when you decide to get back in the league, and we've kind of started to talk about this a little bit. Then I got distracted by, I think, maybe a Dynaball, maybe growth kicker. But like when you said, okay, I'm fucking clean. You get clean. First of all, you get clean. Well, first of all, you get out. You leave Green Bay. You have 3 years. You're still fucking doing bad shit.
It gets worse. Yeah.
Right. It gets worse. You finally go to rehab. You get clean. 18 months later, you're back in the league for that period of time. Were you just training your ass off? I mean, did you know? Okay, you're back in the gym, and you're like, you know what? I'm getting strong again, and you probably what were you at that time? Maybe 310, 305.
Well, when I left, obviously, like we said earlier, when I left treatment, I was 255.
Right.
6 months later, I was 295.
And I mean, are you just proteining up, eating right? I mean, you know how to do it. I mean, you know how to do it. Whether you're shortcutting
I was
it.
doing it. I was no. There was no shortcut.
No. I said whether you shortcut it or whether you did it the right way.
Yeah.
You know how to do it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, and I'll share something with you. And maybe I shared it on the last show, but this is like there is no embellishment to what I'm about to tell you. I knew that, like, I wasn't worried about strength, and because I knew that would come back. I was worried about foot speed because 3 years of being away from that, and not just being away from it, but being a dumbass drug addict.
Right.
I played racquetball 7 days a week for 6 months.
I don't know that you've ever told anybody that.
Yeah.
I played racquetball 7 days a week for 6 months because you're constantly changing direction with your feet, right? Forward, back, side, whatever. Hand-eye coordination was part of it, but it was more for footwork. For 6 straight months.
Every day.
It didn't matter what, every single day.
And I mean, people don't realize, man, you can bench press a Buick, but that doesn't mean shit in the league. It's all foot speed, is it not?
You got to be able to move. Yeah. And not to be funny, but you got to be able to think on the run.
You have
to adjust. You're constantly adjusting.
Well, I mean, in today's world, I mean, the fucking audible system in itself is all. I mean, I would
some of the stuff that Peyton would call, I would be like, "Are you fucking kidding me that you just said everything you just said? What you just said took 15 seconds."
Right. Now, would you sometimes look at Meadows and go, "What the fuck?" I mean,
we were just looking at each other and
it's just a 22 dive, and this motherfucker's got an Omaha with a fucking Sunoco kicker and a fucking blue fucking Willie.
And so many times Omaha meant absolutely nothing.
That's what somebody told me, that he did that a lot just to fuck with people, and that it meant nothing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of the quarterbacks, modern day quarterbacks, like 3/4 of it is gibberish. Like it means nothing.
Agreed.
You're listening for on an audible. You're listening for what the code word to make it an audible is.
Yeah.
Then what follows it. Yeah. And then they'll throw a bunch of other bullshit in there.
Yeah.
Now, is there any? Do you think teams nowadays figure out the audible system?
Oh yeah, they would figure it out when I was playing.
Really?
And you would know after one series of like plays, like you would know that they know now that brown is the live color.
So would you guys say, okay,
on
now
sideline,
it's red?
Or they'd say they wouldn't usually use red or blue because those were used like so common and they're hard, like one syllable.
Would the fucker say fuchsia?
Magenta.
Baby shit brown. Baby shit brown.
No, but they would say they would just say disregard the color and just listen to the number.
Right. How much did you and your guy beside you communicate? Like, would you literally say,
like there's you come out of the huddle, depending on the defense,
right?
You kind of have an idea. Okay, they're probably going to run this defense. This is what we're probably going to do because we've been practicing it all week. If nothing is really said, then it's onward with your work,
right?
Or with your assignment.
But let's say you had a linebacker that's already let's kind of maybe inching up to your gap on your inside, and you need to add him to either you guys or somebody's going to have to get him.
Well, just be like, because the longest way to the shortest route to the quarterback's the middle, right? The longest. So So if
let's say you're playing guard and you had a guy straight up on the nose, and then one of these sneaky linebacker motherfuckers comes up and is either head up and he's head up in that gap. Yep. You're probably talking to your center.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it wouldn't be much like it would be keywords like creeping.
Right.
He's creeping, or bullshit creeping.
Meaning that he's just faking the funk.
Faking.
Right.
Yeah, and you learn that from watching film.
Right. Tony Mandrit's on the phone. I love this guy, and I could talk to him. I probably over talk to him. He probably gets tired of fucking hearing me talk so much.
No, I don't.
Well, that's why he's wearing his Packers hat today.
Did he wear his Packers hat?
Yeah.
There we go. Well, what'd you think about the draft? What'd you think about the draft? We didn't even talk about the Packers draft. They got this one guy out of Iowa. He's an edge rusher. I don't think they got any. I don't think they got any offensive linemen at all. Did they get any offensive linemen? Let me. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Man, I was watching this one guy on the board, and he was projected to go like second round early. He was from Ohio State, Lummy. Maybe you could look at him. He was fucking huge. He was like 6'7", 335, and he was projected to be a second rounder. And he was from Ohio State. I remember that, Lummy. Maybe you can find out. And he ended up going in the 7th. Like the 6th or the 7th, he just kept dropping. And how can somebody get it that wrong, Tony?
Off the field, something they found out off the field.
Kind of like what happened to Sapp. We ended up being good friends with Sapp when he was here. And remember, Sapp got, like, they said he smoked weed or some bullshit, and he was supposed to be a top 5 guy and ended up like 15th.
Right.
But shit like that, and a lot of times it's not even true. It's other teams playing bullshit games because they want that guy, right?
Yeah. But if if you do your due diligence and you're your own team, you have the money to do the right research.
DeJuan Jones, 4th round pick, 6'8", 375.
4th round, but he was projected to go second, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Yeah.
How big is he?
6'8", 375.
Jesus, Tony, 6'8", 375.
Yeah.
Now, what you don't understand, Tony, is my Lummy right here. Lummy, say hi. Just say hi. He's 6'6", 300.
Well, I saw him kicking the shit out of you in pickleball, or was it tennis or something that you guys were playing a couple weeks ago?
No, that was Doctor. That was our other buddy. He's a little guy. He's a plastic surgeon.
Okay.
He's the one that puts tits on all my girlfriends. And
then they leave me.
Take the tits and run. But Lummy is 6'6", and Lummy was an offensive lineman, but he wasn't mean enough. He's kind of a pussy.
Got narrow shoulders.
You got what?
Narrow shoulders.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's what Levitt said. I had narrow shoulders. I'd never be a good tackle. So he put me in guard.
That's because you skipped shoulder day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I like shoulders.
But hey, Tony, remember when we were growing up, man, the league has changed so much. Now the offensive linemen, they get these teeny tiny little fucking shoulder pads. And back when we were growing up, man, you tried to get the biggest fucking ones you could get. Remember just the big
with the neck roll.
Yeah, big neck roll on there and everything.
The epitome of badassery looking was that some pictures of Jack Lambert.
Yes.
Just missing teeth. And blood everywhere. I mean, I was like, when I saw stuff like that, I was like, when I grow up, that's what I want to be.
Jack Lambert was a fucking stud.
And now, if I was a kid now, and I don't think I would have wanted to play football.
What would you play? Basketball?
No, I'd probably become like a rocket scientist or something.
There you go.
Well, honest to God, if you had to do it all over again with your size, your natural size, not your built up, not your Dynaball size, but your natural size, because naturally you're, 6'6", probably 265, 270 straight natural, without even really trying.
I've been natural for quite a few decades now, so I'm 275. Yeah.
Yeah. So naturally you would have been probably a hell of a basketball player, right?
I was okay. I mean, even in college when I was very athletic, like, young and stuff. And before I got really ginormously big.
Could you dunk?
Oh, yeah. But,
man, can you imagine when he was at his biggest dunking, man? Fucking tear the rim down.
No, like when I see guys like, when I see certain guys, well, I'll use Shaq for an example, even though he's now already considered old school. But when I would see Shaq, like I never saw him play in person, but I was like, holy smokes, like that guy could play tackle in the NFL.
Oh, can you imagine?
I mean, like it's just unbelievable. And there's another guy, like my favorite two players are Jordan and Kobe, like by far, like hands down by far.
You're not a Larry Bird fan?
No, I'm not a Boston Celtics fan.
Larry, I hate to be a name game, but Larry Bird's brother was my roommate in college. Jeff Bird, and Larry would send us money because you're in college, you're broke, and so Jeff Bird, and I ended up getting to be friends with Larry, and he's been on the show a few times.
And he's like a crazy, like incredible player.
Oh, I know. For
growing
being
up,
white and white and slow with no chance.
And freckles like really, really white.
Yeah,
not just regular white, but really white. We should add that to the alphabet soup people. They're really, really white. Right?
Yeah, they're
It's
really
like-
white. Like African Americans, they have, red bone, and there's different variations of African Americans. Why can't we have white and then really fucking white? You
Right.
know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm included.
Well, yeah, I think you're included.
I don't think I am.
You're a Croatian.
what
via Canada.
letter would I be
What do you mean?
in the alphabet soup letters? What letter would I be? Maybe add an X.
I think you'd be triple X.
Triple.
Yeah, you're
Maybe I'm part of the plus.
triple
There
X
you
plus. There you go.
Yeah.
We can start a whole new
don't
fucking
know.
thing.
Yeah.
A whole new sexuality. A whole triple
Yeah.
X plus means you're a bigger dude that likes women.
Yeah.
Yeah, triple X
Yeah.
plus.
We need to.
We need to
brand
be
that.
included.
brand
We need to
that.
get some fucking
we need
federal.
to talk to Dion.
We need to get some. Hey, Dion, can you help us promote me and Tony's new thing? It's called Triple X Plus. It's only for white guys that are bigger. Like, man, you two have lost your mind. Get the hell out of here.
He's like, who is this?
Yeah, I don't even know. Tony Manrich, I remember him. I went 5th and he went 2nd. He got a little. No, I think you did get a little more money than him. I think
No,
he got
I don't
like.
think I did.
No, I had it written down who made what. Aikman got the most, I thought. No. I think Barry got the most.
I think Barry got the most.
Barry got the most per year.
Man, why'd Barry quit so young? Just because he was getting beat up and the Lions sucked so bad?
Because he was smart.
Dion got 4 years, 4.4 million.
And that's what Tony got. Tony got 4.4. Didn't you, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys tied.
Dion told me one time, he goes, at the combine, I only met with 10 teams because I know I wasn't going any worse than 10th. He goes, I didn't have to meet those other 20 teams. Screw them. Did the Packers, when at the combine, I guess each team will do like a little interview with you, won't they?
Yeah. Sit down. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
you knew you were going top 10. Did you go?
Yeah.
Did you go talk to the other teams?
Well, Green Bay talked to me. Kansas City talked to me.
Did you have an idea? Did you know you're going to the Packers?
I knew 2 weeks before the draft.
Did they is that when they started working your deal?
Yeah, and I knew it because Dallas had declared publicly in the media that they were going to take Troy.
Right.
And so then Green Bay said publicly, if they hold to their word and take Troy, then we're going to take
Manrich.
Yeah.
And then third was Barry.
Barry.
Fourth
Derek.
was Derek, and then
Thomas.
fifth was Dion. Was Dion Sanders. Tony Manrich, we become new best buddies, and every few weeks or so, we're gonna call him up just to shoot the shit. What do you think? What do you think about this? This cocaine in the White House shit? I mean, we talk about illicit stuff a lot our entire show is talking about steroids or pain pills.
At this point, it could be anybody's. Everybody thinks Hunter Biden. I mean, that's my first thought, but I'm like, who cares if it's Hunter Biden's or whatever? A little cocaine in the White House is the least of our concerns at this point, in my opinion. It's like we have so many things going wrong and so many policies that are fucked up.
And think about how much cocaine's been in the White House over the years. Probably a lot.
Can you imagine?
I mean, JFK was just doing rails off bitches' snatches. You know they was.
I mean, and cigars, right?
Yeah. Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton's, dildo and Monica Lewinsky in the Rose Garden with What was that? Now in today's world, they run a much tighter ship. But back in the day, I don't know if you know, but Kennedy had these 2 interns, frickin' frack, that he was fucking. Did you know that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's been very well noted. Look under your Google machine there. But
because I trust everything Google says.
Yeah. Did you see where Trudeau? Did you see where Trudeau is going to outlaw Google or some bullshit in Canada?
Yeah, of course.
How does this fucker keep getting reelected?
Well, if you're a dictator, you can do shit like that.
Well, can he not be unelected or something like that? Didn't he pass some kind of law?
They're still run literally under the British monarchy, which is why the U.S. isn't, because we decided, I shouldn't say we, because I'm not an American citizen, although I've lived here most of my life. It's like, that's why you had the Boston Tea Party. That's why everything happened in 1770 and all those years right before 1776, because we gave Great Britain the big finger and said, no, we're not following your
But
rules.
Canada's a bunch of soft pussies. They won't give them the big finger and say we want to be our own fucking.
I want the Queen's birthday off still.
Yeah, it's like, and it's it's like in Canada, Canadians will punch you in the face and then apologize for it.
They will. Tony Mandrit's on the phone. Tony, so what do you got lined up for today? What's on Tony Mandrit's world today?
Well, right now, to my left, my dog is staring at me, and
What kind of dog you got?
A Newfoundland, a brown Newfoundland,
Big one.
Big. He looks like a bear.
He's like, Dad, I got a shit. Can you take me outside,
please? 40. He's like, I'd have to drop a Lincoln log.
I got 6 Lincoln logs, and then you got to feed me, and then I need to lick my balls, and then I need to lick my asshole to clean it up, and then maybe about 4 or 5 o'clock I can get another round of food.
He's the best dog. He is the best.
Tony, thank you so very much, my friend. Tony, do you ever go out to any high schools or anything? Does the coaches ever call you locally to come talk to the boys and teach them some footwork stuff and stuff like that?
I do, and I did a lot more before COVID. And then, COVID, it was like 20 and 2021 was kind of sketchy for everybody. And so it's starting to pick up again slowly. But, there's so much now other issues of signaling, like virtue signaling and stuff. And a lot of people know that I have a stance on, and I will say my stance. So, and it doesn't jive with a lot of educators, if you will.
Yeah, I know, but your stance is like that of a man. Like, I'm just saying,
right.
Your stance isn't so far fucking whacked out where we're talking about aliens and bullshit. Conspiracy theory. I mean, although nothing's wrong with any of that shit, but I mean, you have the stance of a 57-year-old man.
Yeah.
Period.
And it's, and I'm not using that as an excuse on why I'm not doing that as much, but it's like when you're asked, look, you got to be careful. Like nobody ever had to come up to me pre-pandemic to say, you got to be careful not to drop F-bombs or this, because they know it's like, I'm speaking to kids. I want to be an example.
Right.
You want to be a good example. It's like, well, now you can't. It's like, I got to respect people's pronouns and this and that. And it's like, this is not the.
Man, I come from a little town it's called Warsaw, Indiana. It's 50 miles.
I know it.
50. You know Warsaw?
Oh yeah.
It's
I don't know it well, but I know it. Yeah.
But it's 50 miles south of South Bend, and our head coach, our football team we were always a basketball town. We won the state championship a few years, but we were never really a football school until this new dude came about 5 years ago. And this motherfucker is straight old school, and he's in the Indiana Hall of Fame, and he came out of retirement to come coach for Warsaw. And this guy, he passes about 10 times a year. No, I mean a year.
He runs pretty much.
He runs a wishbone, smash mouth, up your fucking ass football, and so I was a captain in '84, and every year I go back and just talk to the kids like before senior night, and I just say, hey, listen, a lot of us old guys, wish we could have one last game, just a little motivational deal. But this guy, man, he's the kind of coach, like. Fuck is, that's not a big deal at all.
Right.
So I was talking to this one, their best offensive lineman. He was last year's MVP and everything. And he was like 6'4", 235, 240. And I'm at practice and he's running laps, not in uniform. I'm like, why aren't you, and he's got the C captain and everything. I'm like, why aren't you suited up? His name's Jimmy. He goes, well, because I was at a party and I drank some beer and I made some wrong decisions and coach suspended me. And this is for like the conference championship, the next game. Oof. And coach suspended him and he had to run laps around the football field for the entire practice. But that's the kind of guy he is. And he's just, that would be...
That was our era.
But that's the kind of place you could coach at. Where you could be like, what the fuck? That fucking footwork was the worst shit I've ever seen. Get back and do it again.
Right.
But in some places, like you said, maybe some of the bigger metropolitan areas like Phoenix and things like that, where people are so fucking woke, that they'd be like, Mr. Mandrich, you can't say what the fuck. Your footwork sucks, little Jimmy. You have to tell him that he can get better on his footwork and
Anything positive.
That was pretty good footwork, Jimmy, and that could maybe work if we were playing a bullshit team, but it's not going to work for me.
If we were in a pillow fight,
if you're playing a girls' fucking lacrosse team, maybe, Jimmy. Hey, and you know what I'm all for? I'm all for these. They want to put these chicks. These guys running against girls and shit like that. I'm like, let's do the opposite. Let's put girls on the football field.
Hey, you don't see much of that, do you?
No, I want to see all of it. I want to see every fucking bit of it.
But currently, we don't see much of that.
No.
Like, I don't see actually any examples hardly of that.
No, and let's be honest.
The other way.
Oh yeah, the other ways.
Yeah.
You know how good I would have been as a girl fucking softball player? I would have been all world. I already have big tits.
Listen, Bubba, I think this is an opportunity for us to go play sports again.
I think so. I can be you and I. We got to think about what sport. Probably have to be like the WNBA. And
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, I'll be the fat little point guard, and I'll fucking throw it into you, and then you just dunk it over those bitches, okay?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know that I'm better than some of those girls. They could probably beat me. We might think of another sport. If they had girls football, maybe Tony and I could go dominate that. I would. I'd be the fullback, and I'd run right over a bitch. Tony, as a big guy, as a lineman, you always wanted to run the ball. Did you ever want to run the ball? I always did.
Yeah, heck yeah. That was the name of the game. I mean, it was like...
No, did you ever want to be the running back?
Oh, the running back?
Yeah.
There was a few times. There's a few clips out there on the internet somewhere where it was against Michigan, too, where maybe I didn't run the ball, but I was like put in a fullback position.
Like a fridge blocker kind of deal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I picked off Rick Meyer. Remember that guy?
Yes.
He was a freshman, and I was a senior at Warsaw, and we practiced it all week. That they threw this bullshit little middle screen, and I was a nose guard, and I was the slowest. So it wasn't like I was staying back because I knew the play. I just couldn't get through my guy, and so they throw this middle fucking screen. Well, it's right at me. It's right at me. So I grab it, I get it, and I start fucking running. Well, my linemen are ahead of me because I'm slow. So I'm like, start blocking for me, and I got caught at the 3. I got caught at my one time in life to score a touch. That should be my new fucking book. I got caught at the 3. Listen, Tony, go feed your Newfoundland. Go work. Are you working out today? I did legs today.
Yeah, I'm gonna do chest.
Should I show Tony my calves, my unbelievable calves?
Oh yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Are they jacked up?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're so big we can't even see them.
Yeah, no, you gotta put it on the chair, Bubba.
I can't get my little legs up.
He can't get his little legs up.
Face down, ass up.
I can't.
He's gonna cramp up if
I don't have to go lift him up.
I got my own gym.
Hey, I saw some hamstring though.
I
saw some hamstring definition.
I got my own gym. You should fly to fucking Tampa. I got 2 extra bedrooms. Fly to Tampa. Hang out with me. We'll go to dinner. We'll go to a fucking...
You like Longhorn?
I guarantee he loves They make fun of me because my favorite place to eat is Longhorn Steakhouse.
It's the only place he'll go.
You like Longhorn, Tony?
I like Longhorn.
Yeah, Tony likes steak.
Perfect.
He likes ribs.
Well, I just
He's not some
fucking.
vegetarian like you.
No.
That'd be the worst.
He's a meat eater. Look at him.
Is Anna a vegetarian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anna. That's not healthy for you.
No,
really?
it's not.
No, you got to add some meat to your life.
Do I? Okay.
The only meat she gets is a 9-inch cock from her boyfriend.
Okay.
I'm saying.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you.
Tony, you need to come to Tampa, man.
Yeah.
For real. I mean, like for real. I have my own gym.
In your place?
I'm the fattest guy to have his own gym. No, like a half a mile from our studio is this big warehouse, and I got all Nautilus, and it's nobody can be there. I mean, it's not open to the public. It's just mine.
Right. Well, let's do it, but let's not do it in the summer when it's super humid. It's super humid there.
Let's do it like in November or some bullshit.
Yeah, football season. We'll go to a game or something.
Yeah, listen, the guy on my show that you saw me beating in pickleball, Dr. Dan Diaco, they got a luxury box.
Awesome.
Food, VIP parking, whole 9 yards. And then we can train together.
Yes.
But I train really pussified. Like I'm going to be honest with you, Tony. I don't train heavy at all.
I'll push you.
No.
Well, you don't have to train heavy. You don't have to train heavy to train intense.
Yeah, no, I train like on bench. Don't laugh at me, but I'll put on 95. 95 because if you
shoulders all fucked up.
I got a torn rotator cuff. I'll put 25s on each. I got 25s on each side, which is 95, and I'll do 100 of them.
Oh, that's intense. That's intense training.
But it's the last, and then I'll do 50. Then I'll do 25, and then I'll get on the pec deck and try to superset that.
Yeah.
Tony, I mean, Lumby, do you know how cool it would be to train with fucking Tony Mandrich?
Oh, that'd be badass.
Yeah, like we were pumping up like for Guns N' Roses again and shit.
We'll get jacked up. We'll get jacked up and get some Schmedium t-shirts and.
Well, no, see, you look good in a Schmedium. I still probably am requiring a XXX. Okay, buddy. Hey, the next couple weeks or so, let's bullshit again if we can, T.
I'd love to. All right, buddy.
It's
always a great time. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. And
Thanks,
look forward.
Tony.
And listen, tell everybody where they can find you. Tony, let's promote your stuff again. Was it Tony Mandrich Media?
TonyMandrich.com. Just my name.com. Or if they go to my Instagram, which is all my name, Tony Mandrich, there's a Linktree link there that takes you to a bunch of different links.
Yep. Perfect. We'll do all that and more, okay?
Cool.
Tony, good talking to you.
Bye,
Good
Tony.
seeing you guys.
Bye, Tony.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye,
Good
Tony.
talking. Have a great day.
You too. God, I love that guy. I
could
do.
tell.
Down to earth.
He's my buddy, man. I just love that guy.
That'd be badass if you could work out with him.
Oh, I'd be great to get him to Tampa and take him out to dinner, maybe the Dollhouse.
Oh yeah.
You date him more than you do Merch Craig.
I'd take him. I'd say, listen, Merch Crick, I got a really special
Go in
friend.
your hidey hole. Don't come out for the next 36 hours.
I'd like to see you guys in the smart card.
Me and Tony in the smart car.
Going to the gym.
Oh. Hannah, he even knows you. He does his research. He watches the show and stuff, and he knows who you are.
Yeah, he's not a fan of my dieting habits.
No.
Nobody is.
Oh.
Everybody else.
I mean, really. Like, how many people have gone, oh my God, that's great? Maybe not any in our circles. Lummy, can you send? I got to get a hold of the merch quick. See if we got some merch that Tony doesn't have.
Yeah.
I wonder if his dog would fit. Nah.
It's a huge fucking dog.
Yeah, that's true. See you guys tomorrow.